Stephen Williams back here with you on Cougar Sports TV. 2-2 our score as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Columbus State and Lander all knotted up. Game 2 of our doubleheader. Kaylee Bryant to lead things off, followed by Keely Waugh and Elizabeth Perdue. Darby Demarest put a 0 on the board in relief. Back in the top half of the fourth inning, and now the offense will try to take the lead back. Both of the CSU runs coming in the first, the 2 Lander runs coming in the third as that ball rolled over the top of the feet of Bryant in the batter's box. Bryant has a hit already today. Worked a full count against Ferguson. Ended up beating one through the left side. That one came back leading off the second inning. She ended up getting all the way to third after a stolen base and a throwing error. But she was left standing there as Ferguson picked up back-to-back strikeouts. Two balls and 2 strikes. Bryant will foul off another one. Cougar Sports TV, your video home for everything Columbus State Athletics. We will be at the field just over our left shoulder next weekend. Peach Belt Conference action at Burger King Stadium for the baseball team. Montevallo will be in town for a 3-game series Friday night. First pitch, 6 o'clock. It'll be Columbus Little League night. There should be triple figures of youngsters in uniform for the game on Friday. And it's fouled away again. Be a lot of youngsters that will take the field with the Cougars for the national anthem, and then a lot of contests and games and activities happening over the course of that game. Home plate umpire trying to make up for the number of foul balls that we've had in this at-bat that have left the field. But should be a fun night over at Burger King Stadium on Friday. The Cougars and Montevallo, 2 of the top offensive teams in the Peach Belt Conference, should make for a lot of runs. That has been the trademark of the Cougar baseball team this season. They scored 9 runs last night on a 9-7 victory over Georgia Southwestern in Game 1 of the series. Scored 12 in a 12-4 win earlier today. They were in a lower scoring game in the second half of that doubleheader. It was 2-2 at last check. 3 balls and 2 strikes as the at-bat continues for Bryant. Upstairs, Ferguson finally climbs the ladder, and Bryant can't connect on it, and she's down on strikes. So Ferguson picks up the strikeout. Keely Waugh will be the batter now. CSU hoping that this second game doesn't go as the first one did, where they got their runs in the first inning and then just went stagnant after that. Lady Cougars got 4 runs in the first on 4 hits, then got shut out over the next 6 innings with just 2 hits the rest of the way. Wind continuing to howl around Cougar Field here as that ball in the inside corner. Called strike, moves the count to 0-2. Ferguson ready, the 0-2 outside corner. That was outside, inside, outside. And Ferguson gets the second strikeout of the inning. Elizabeth Purdue, the batter now. Base is clear and 2 away. She goes after the first one, hits it in the field. And the grab is made in fair territory down the line by the right fielder Marusic, and that will end the inning. So a couple of strikeouts and a fly out down the right field line finishes things off. 4 in the books here at Cougar Field, 2-2 on Cougar Sports TV. Two-two ball game, still the score as we go to the top of the 5th inning here on Cougar Sports TV. Webster to start things off against Demarest, who throws a first pitch strike in. Darby worked a scoreless top of the 4th as she worked quickly through the order for Lander. Pitch misses outside, evens things up at 1 strike. Webster 0 for 2 in the game as Lander works its way through the order for a 3rd time. The 1-1, down low and inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Baseball team now in front 4-3 as they go for the series sweep and one that they badly need in conference play. 2-1 pitch. Line softly to second. Fagioli a couple steps to her left will make the grab, and there's an easy first out for Demarest. Brianna Vasquez will get a chance to bat now for the first time. She is just an .091 hitter, 1 for 11 on the season. She's in there as a substitution in place of Darian Ward, who was thrown out of the ball game. Last time through the order, she was hit by a pitch. Made a little bit of a gesture on her way down to first base right at the starting pitcher. And was then subsequently tossed by our home plate umpire. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. What it does, though, is it takes a big bat right out of the heart of your order for a hitter now that is 1 for 11 on the season. Nothing against Vasquez, but Ward was a .342 hitter. So obviously that's a switch that stings a little bit for Glenn Crawford. His number 3 spot in the order, and that's his leading RBI hitter as well. 2 balls and a strike on Vasquez. The 2-1 pitch over the outside corner. 2-2. The strike zone much wider in this game than it was in game number 1. It was tight for both sides in game 1. It's been bigger on both sides here in game 2. 2 different umpires, 2 different zones. The 2-2 pitch. Near the same spot, maybe an inch or 2 off the plate, but it's going to push the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Demarest ready The full count offering. Hit towards third, and that's going to get through. So Vasquez, just her second hit of her collegiate career. She is 2 for 12 now at the plate in her freshman season and a one-out base runner. Haley Soro will be the batter now. Vasquez not going to make a pinch runner change over at first, just a helmet change. She was wearing one that had the face mask guard on it. Traded out for one that doesn't have it. First pitch to Soro is up high and taken for a ball. We were tied at 4 for a lot of game number 1. After the Bearcats tied it up in the top of the third, they finally took the lead in the top of the 6th and won the game 6-4. It is 2-2 right now. They tied it again in the top of the third innings. This one following the same script to this point. Lady Cougars hoping to write a different script, though, one that results in them getting a victory. 1 ball and 1 strike on Soro, who's 1 for 1 with a walk. Change up, drops into the zone. Darby so far, decent command of that off-speed breaking ball. It's a ball and 2 strikes now on Soro. Darby ready. This one popped up, that's straight over our head. That'll probably extend beyond the roof here. No loud thud, so it did. Again, off to Francis Marion and Augusta next weekend for the Lady Cougars. They'll wrap up PBC play on the road at Flagler and at Armstrong State the following weekend, and then they'll finish the regular season against Albany State here at Cougar Field on a Tuesday night, the final Tuesday before the Peach Belt Conference tournament. The tournament to be held in Milledgeville at Georgia College. Below the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cougar Sports TV will have home baseball 3 different weekends here in the month of April. Montevallo this coming weekend, as Demarest comes away with the strikeout for the second out of the inning. Then Armstrong State comes to town for the weekend, and then UNC Pembroke closes out the regular season in Columbus. McCormick, the batter now, with 2 down and a runner still on at first. First pitch is up high, and it gets off of the glove of Bryant. Will allow the runner to scoot down on the wild pitch to second. Demarest trying to work a second straight scoreless inning. Came on in relief of Hannah Manley, who threw the first 3. The 1-0. Inside corner, a called strike, evens it up. McCormick 1 for 2 in the game. Casey Kent in the on-deck circle. She is 2 for 2 and has the 2 RBIs for the 2 runs that have scored. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, make it 1-2. Darby has been sharp today. She worked scoreless relief in game number 1, 2 2/3, allowed just 1 hit. She's worked an inning and 2/3 scoreless in this one, trying to make it 2. The 1-2 pitch, pulled the string, threw it for a strike, but McCormick was able to get a piece of it and foul it away. Glenn Crawford wanting to talk with his batter over there on the third base line. Some instructions for McCormick before she comes back to home plate. Kaylee Bryant taking the chance to go out and speak with Demarest. as an all-freshman battery at the moment. Leanne Reed started the game behind the plate for the Lady Cougars. She was involved in a collision at the plate, though, in which a runner was thrown out to end the top of the first inning, and she was shaken up and subsequently taken out of the game. 1-2 pitch. Upstairs, threw it by her. A strikeout for Demarest, who works her way out of the fifth inning. Another scoreless frame put on the board, and we move to the bottom of the fifth inning. Columbus State and Lander still tied at 2. Game 2 of our Peachfield Conference doubleheader here on Cougar Sports TV. Two our score. Columbus State coming to bat in the bottom of the fifth inning. 9-1-2. Due up for the Lady Cougars. Sammy Anderson to start things off. First pitch in there for a strike from Mackenzie Ferguson, who is now working her 7th inning of the day after throwing the last 2 in game number 1. Picked up the save. Now she's working as a starter here in game 2 as the pitch misses to even it up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Anderson 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far. Ferguson has 5 of them on the day. Pitch is up high, but Anderson goes after it. She's down 1-2. She struck out on a similar pitch her last time up. Anderson and then the top of the order, the 1-2. Nearly hit her on the inside corner, but it was also nearly a strike. And as Sammy stands near the corner of the plate, 2-2. Shooting for the outside corner this time, the counter run full. Ferguson does a nice job. She mixes it in and out, also changes up and down. She changes eye levels quite well as Anderson fouls it away past Brad Huskisson down that third base line. Ferguson closing in on 80 pitches overall. The 3-2 once more, again fouled off. So 7 pitches already in the at-bat and an 8th coming. Two our score, 7-4. Lander out hitting the Lady Cougars. Good at bat for Anderson there. Fouls off a couple with 2 strikes. She'll draw the leadoff walk and set the stage for the top of the order. Katie White checks the wristband to see what the sign she was given was from Brad Huskisson. Leadoff runner on a walk, and the top of the order coming up. White, a good bunter. You can likely see her drop one down here, trying to put the potential go-ahead run in scoring position. She will bunt. The ball back to the pitcher. Ferguson's throw is just in time to get White over at first base. Ferguson a little bit slow getting rid of it. The throw was high, but the out made, and there's one down, and now Brad Huskisson's going to make a pinch running substitution. for Anderson out at second as Kia Smith gets set to come to the plate. Kia Smith will be the batter now. A runner on at second, one out in a 2-2 game. A chance to try to drive home the go-ahead run. Smith starts to shorten up to bunt, pulls it back and takes a ball. Again, Lander choosing to defend this one with the third baseman and second baseman instead of the two corners. Second baseman Clyde playing right next to the circle. The 1-0. Shortens up again. This time takes a strike. Evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Kia 1 for 2, a hit, a run scored. Mosley, the pinch runner for CSU, as this ball's hit on the ground to short. Kent will field it cleanly and throw Kia out at first, and Mosley has to stay put out at second base for the second out. So it'll take some 2-out hitting from the Lady Cougars, and Callie Starr will be the one that gets the first chance at it. Mosley at second, Starr at the plate. She is 1 for 1 in the game. Takes a good rip at that and fouls it off. Callie with a squeeze bunt for an RBI. Her first time to the plate. Last time up, she singled into right field. They'd love to duplicate that here with 2 outs, and Mosley, who runs well, could likely score. 0-1 from Ferguson coming. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. This one hit into center field. It's going to drop for a hit. They're going to wave Mosley to the plate. The throw is up the line, not on target, and the Lady Cougars lead. CSU forcing the issue, trying to make Lander throw her out at the plate. The throw from Smith was well off target, and this is a 3-2 ball game. So Callie Starr delivering, and it's 3-2 Lady Cougars. So more 2-out hitting. Callie Starr drives home the go-ahead run, and the Lady Cougars have surged in front 3-2. First pitch strike to Fagioli, with Starr still out at second after she advanced on the throw. That is the first run scored today by the Lady Cougars, not in the first inning. All 6 runs prior had come in the first of the 2 games. In the air to right field. Working back, still going back is Marusic, and she'll make the grab in right center field, and that'll put an end to the inning. But Callie Starr with the 2-out base hit puts Columbus State in front 3-2 after 5 here on Cougar Sports TV. Stephen Williams back here with you on Cougar Sports TV. 3-2, Columbus State has moved in front now. They lead the Bearcats of Lander 3-2 after 5 here in game number 2 of our doubleheader. Casey Kent stares at a first pitch strike from Darby Demarest to start off the 6th inning. Darby working her 3rd inning out of the bullpen here in this one. Kent is 2 for 2 in the game with a couple of RBIs. She had the 2-run double that gave Lander their first 2 runs as that ball is out of play. Bounces just off to our left here in the press box, high atop Cougar Field. Two runs, 7 hits, and an error for Lander. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors so far for the Lady Cougars. The 0-2 pitch went too far around, stretched out the strike zone, and Darby picks up another strikeout. That's her 4th here in 2 1/3. Emily Marusic, the batter now. 1 away here in the top of the 6th. She goes after the first one and fouls it into the stands. Marusic 0 for 2 so far in the game. Lines this one right at Katie White at 3rd. White just ducked down a little bit and snagged it out of the air for the 2nd out of the inning. So squared it up, but an out nonetheless. So Mackenzie Smith will try to break through. Demarest has allowed just 1 hit and 2 2/3 so far. Struck out 4, no walks. And now there is a free base runner right on cue. That one off the front foot of Smith. That is something Darby has done with a little bit of frequency this year, is hit opposing batters. That one happens without any consequence afterwards. Could not say that about the earlier one. But the runner is going to reach over at first base with 2 outs. Smith still trying to walk this one off. Glenn Crawford is going to pinch hit here. Clyde walked to the plate, but now she walks back to the dugout. Pinch hitter for Lander will be Chandler Carey, the freshman. Had a big 2-out single that ended up winning game number 1 in the 6th inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Takes the first pitch strike, though. Hitting in place of Destiny Clyde, who was 0 for 2. The 0-1 popped up, foul of 3rd. Katie White going back right by the dugout, makes the grab, and that draws a fist pump from Brad Huskisson just outside the dugout, and it will end the top of the 6th inning. Lady Cougars 3 outs from victory here at Cougar Field in game number 2. 3-2 the score. Columbus State leads here on Cougar Sports TV. Columbus State hopes this is the final time that they will bat in this ball game. They lead it 3-2 in the bottom of the sixth inning. Kaylee Boone to start things off. She hits the first one to deep left field, going back, still going back. It's going to hit up against the wall. Boone around first. She'll cruise into second with a stand-up double, and that's a good start to the bottom of the sixth inning. Kaylee Bryant, the batter now. A chance for CSU to add a very important insurance run. First pitch down low and taken. CSU would gladly take a second run here with a chance to add a little bit of cushion before they go out for the seventh. That ball hit hard into left. That's down for a hit. They're going to be on the corners with nobody out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Monica Shorter out of the dugout for Lander again. And she'll go talk to Ferguson, who's been very good all game long. "92 pitches for her so far. 5+ innings, 3 runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts to this point. A double and a single to start things off, though, here in this bottom of the sixth inning as CSU tries to add insurance. Keely Waugh will be the one with an opportunity to add that cushion. Bryan on at first, Boone on at third after a double and a single. And the Lady Cougars are threatening here in the bottom of the sixth. How big a couple of runs could be here. Hits now even at 7 apiece. Ferguson a long look in for her side, still looking. Finally ready to go. Keely starts to shorten up to bunt, pulls back and takes a ball. Lander fully expecting the bunt. They're way in all over the place. Third baseman Vasquez, about 10 feet or so in front of the third base bag. First baseman Soro in as well. Waugh showing bunt, pulls back. They're going to run from first base on the pitch. It'll end up being a stolen base, a strike called. And the runners are now both in scoring position with still nobody out. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Keely Waugh. Runners at second and third here in the sixth. Ferguson fires. Pitch is low. 2 balls and a strike now. Keely 0 for 2 in the ball game. CSU doesn't have a hit yet out of the bottom of its order. 0 for 5 in the 7, 8, and 9 spots in this one. Keely did have a hit in game 1, though. Drives this one into right center field. That one's trouble, and that's going to bounce up against the wall. 1 run in. Here comes a second. The throw to the plate is late. She's going to be safe. They'll throw Waugh out at the third base bag, but 2 runs come across to score, and high fives all the way around because this is a 5-2 ball game. So 2 runs come in to score. Make it a 5-2 game, and CSU finds the cushion it was looking for now here in the 6th inning as Elizabeth Purdue digs in and takes a first pitch strike. Waugh gunned down at third base, but CSU will gladly trade the out for the 2 runs that it picked up on the play. That ball hit into foul territory and finds its way back into the stands after it hit off the light pole on the first base side. No balls and 2 strikes. 5-2 the score now. As Purdue down on strikes again, went upstairs on that one. Could not make contact, and there's 2 away. Sammy Anderson, the batter now. The base is clear and 2 away. Fouls the first one off. She walked her last time up. Was pinch run for, and that run eventually came around to score the go-ahead run here. Pitch misses up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. One pitch, drops out of the zone. 2 balls and a strike. (5-2), Columbus State up, trying to get the split with Lander here in this Peach Belt Conference doubleheader. Anderson again up above the belt. CSU has not had much success on pitches up in that area of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two away in the inning, the 2-2 to Anderson. Popped up, back of the infield, foul territory. Grab unable to be made that time on the part of McCormick behind the plate. Got a little bit weary of the wall back there behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes, still the count. Again popped up, this time out of play. And it'll stay 2-2. Outside corner, a called strike 3 will put an end to the 6th. We go to the 7th, though. The Lady Cougars tack on 2 more on the Keeley Waugh 2-run double. They need 3 outs. Lander needs 3 runs to keep this one going here on Cougar Sports TV. Top of the 7th inning, Columbus State hoping they can find 3 more outs to wrap up a victory here in game number 2 and split this doubleheader with Lander. Top of the order for the Bearcats coming up. Wooten to lead things off as she sees a first pitch strike from Demarest, who has been CSU's best pitcher in this doubleheader by far. She has thrown 5 scoreless innings, 5 2/3 rather, of scoreless relief between the 2 games. The 0-1, swing and a miss upstairs. It's no balls and 2 strikes. CSU badly needing to get back into the win column in conference play. Wooten 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and down 0-2 here. Started to go around, and Bat Barrel came pretty close to halfway around, no appeal. So a ball and 2 strikes. Big to get the leadoff hitter here. The 1-2 popped over our heads. That one's going to make its way onto the concrete. Wooten, Webster, and then Vasquez, the 3 set to bat. It would be Ward, but she's no longer for this game. The 1-2, outside corner, called, strike 3. Good location for Demarest there. That's her 5th strikeout of the appearance, and there's 1 down. Pinch hitter coming on for Lander. It'll be Casey Rogers, freshman out of Bennettsville, South Carolina. We saw her in game number 1 as a pinch hitter. Takes a first pitch strike. 1 away here, top of the 7th inning. Lady Cougars trying to put 1 in the win column. Line drive, short hop, knocked down by Starr. Picks it up. The throw is not in time. So the pinch hitter Rogers reaches, and they're going to re-enter the runner over at first in Webster, I believe. So they will re-enter Webster over there to run at first base, and in pinch hitting for Brianna Vasquez will be Madison Moore, the freshman. She'll come on now with a runner on first and 1 out. It was an error on the Lady Cougars on the at-bat just before this one. First pitch in there for a strike. Darby still just allowed 1 hit, and she stands to be the winner of this one, which would be her first collegiate victory. The 0-1, big cut, no contact, 0-2. More pinch hit in the opening game as well. O2 offering coming up from Demarest. Over the heart of the plate and a called strike 3. 6 punch outs now for the freshman, and CSU out away from a victory. So everything will hinge now on Haley Soro at the plate. The tying run is in the on-deck circle for the Bearcats in a 5-2 game. Webster the runner at first, 2 down in the inning. First pitch is to get down for a hit, and the tying run will come to the plate. Wasn't hit hard, but fell in the right spot, and the Bearcats will bring the tying run in. Pinch runner at first base for the Bearcats. It'll be Jamie Pizell, the freshman from Mooresville, North Carolina. The tying run at the plate now stands in the form of Kelly McCormick, the catcher, who goes after the first pitch and doesn't make any contact on it for strike one. 3-run game, 2 runners on, 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. McCormick with 1 swing could tie the game, or she could keep it going. Lady Cougars need just 1 more out. The 0-1. Another swing and a miss, 0-2. Demarest already with a pair of strikeouts in the inning. She has 6 of them so far, trying to work 4 scoreless innings. No balls and 2 strikes. Demarest trying to end it here. The 0-2 offering. Inside, just a hair and a little bit low. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pizell at first, Webster the runner at second. McCormick 1 for 3 at the plate. The 1-2 pitch. Hammered down the left field line, but that's going to be well foul. McCormick hit a ball off the wall with the bases loaded in game number 1. Tied the game up at 4. Trying to prolong the game now for Lander and avoid a split. Lady Cougars trying to get on the right side of things in conference play. 1-2 pitch coming up from Demarest. High and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I always say the toughest out is the very last one to get. That's why closers in Major League Baseball get paid so much money. High leverage, high pressure situations. That's where Demarest is at right now. She needs 1 more out. The 2-2. Popped up center field. Smith underneath it. This should do it. Kia puts the squeeze on it and put one in the win column for the Lady Cougars as they get a 5-2 victory in game number 2 here on Senior Day. The Lady Cougars come back and get the victory over the Bearcats of Lander in the second game of the doubleheader. The Lady Cougars with the victory improved to 22-21 on the season. They are now 6-10 in Peach Belt Conference play. The victory goes to Darby Demarest. Congratulations to her because that is victory number 1 of her collegiate career. She is 1-2 now on the season after she goes 4 shutout innings, gives up no runs on 2 hits and 6 strikeouts. Lander on the opposite side falls to 23-15, and they are now 9-7 in Peach Belt Conference play. The loss belongs to Mackenzie Ferguson, who is 15-8 on the season now. She went 6 innings, a complete game for her. 5 runs on 8 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. As she pitched well, but gave up a few runs, especially late in the ball game as the Lady Cougars win it. 5-2. They get a run in the 5th and 2 in the 6th to put an end to this one and pick up the victory. Lander takes the victory in game 1, 6-4. The Lady Cougars get it in 5-2, and they'll send everyone home happy here on Senior Day. It'll be the last time we'll have the Lady Cougars on Cougar Sports TV for a while. They'll be back here on the air the last Tuesday of the regular season when Albany State comes to town for the final regular season doubleheader of the year. Cougar Sports TV will be back with you, though, Friday night. The Cougar baseball team will be at Burger King Stadium just to our left as they will take on Montevallo in a 3-game Peach Belt Conference series, 1 game each day of the weekend. So make sure you join us Friday night. 6 o'clock is first pitch. CSU Hall of Fame broadcaster Scott Miller will be on the air and simulcasting along with News Radio 540 WDAK. We'll have all the action of Columbus Little League night at the ballpark at Burger King Stadium. With that, that'll wrap things up here on a Sunday afternoon at Cougar Field. It is a split of the doubleheader. Lander takes game 1, 6-4. Lady Cougars take game 2, 5-2. For everybody at Columbus State University, CSU Athletics, and Cougar Sports TV, this is Stephen Williams saying so long from Columbus, Georgia.